Hello, healing friends. In 1996, I began having other dimensional beings show up to guide me through some processes that before I had incarnated, I had agreed to do. And they needed to do some work because they needed to bring me up to speed. And I had lagged somewhat far behind of where I needed to be at for what I needed, for what I had agreed to do. So one of the beings that worked with me very closely for a period of a year, the being is named Arlen, and Arlen is going to actually take over for this healing field. So I don't know if my eyes are going to be open or are going to be closed, but Arlen, Arlen's going to assist all of us in with the energetics that we're working with. All right. But without speaking too many words, I will invite you to go through the process that Stephen normally takes you through. I go by the term Arlen. Stephen had a problem with that name. He felt like it should be the name of a German farmer, not a spiritual teacher. But he eventually accepted my presence in his life, and really I'm always present in his life in many ways. But I've not had an opportunity like this for quite a long time to actually speak directly through Steve to the world during times of very large changes that are going on. And so this healing field will be somewhat different in that you'll have another guide who is intimately connected with Stephen, but is going to take advantage of this time today while Stephen is so open and allowing those of us who guide him to speak to him through him. Because really these are going to be messages for Stephen, but they're going to be messages for all the Stephens and all the others who are all, named different things, but they're all just beings in bodies during a transformation. So I'm speaking to all of you, and Stephen will enjoy watching this later. So we're going to start off today with a heart, and we're going to become aware of the heart that's inside of you, we're going to become aware of its comfort or discomfort, its numbness or its pain, possible emotions that may be present there. But because we have certain skills, we can share them with you because you're listening to us, and I'm the spokesperson, but of a group. And yeah, Stephen's saying, "What's the name of the group?" And he's, it's hard for him to just sit back and listen. But I'm going to request that he does this and really just let go and let us speak. Okay, you put your attention on your heart. Does your heart feel better already? This is going to be happening continuously because Stephen's very good at what he does, but he makes everybody move at his speed. And even though to some, when they look at him, he's moving at a pretty fast speed. But what you may not know about him is he feels like, personally, he needs to suffer before he lets go of things. And we attempted to teach him that that's not true. But it was one of the things that he refused to let go of. He let go of many things, so we don't want him sitting over there in that chair feeling uncomfortable that we're talking about him in a disparaging way. We love him very much. We appreciate him very much, and I can tell a brief story. So just keep noticing your heart. Keep noticing how it's vibrating at a higher rate than it's used to. While it vibrates at that higher rate, things will just be kind of popping off. You'll just be letting go of things. Yep, you might be seeing a light around Stephen's body. Maybe you saw this light before, but maybe you didn't. But it's nice for those of us who don't have bodies that we're living in to actually be in a human body, especially since Stephen has allowed the improved function of this body by very much changing his thinking. So we suggested in 1996 that Stephen was not prepared to do the job he had agreed to do before coming onto the planet. And that job was to be one of 4 beings in bodies, one of 4 human beings, to assist the being Abrahamanad to incarnate as the soul of the earth for the next 13,000 years. And Stephen was one of the 4 that we were counting on, but he was not prepared. So we had to take him through a crash course of awakening. And it was about 14 months that we just took him through processes. But he had to choose to do them, and he had to, on some level, to some degree, do them on his own. He had to choose to do them. He had to choose to make these changes. So one of the things that happened is we suggested that he see a hypnotherapist because he had beliefs that were standing in the way of what he needed to do. So he discovered a hypnotherapist through a series of events. And the first time he sat down with the hypnotherapist, he said to him, can we call in your spirit guide? And Stephen knew that it was a setup. He knew we had orchestrated this to happen for him, for his own good. And so today we're orchestrating this to happen for his own good and for your own good as well. So again, you might be noticing pain in your heart. Just notice it. Notice that it's there. And then notice when it's not there. And we'll just do that from time to time. We'll notice things that are there, and then we'll notice that they're not there. And these are possibilities of things changing that quickly. And that's what we're here to show you today. That all of this can change so quickly. You might be feeling a bit of tension in your forehead. I know I am. Because I'm in this body that's going through these changes. So I'm assisting this body to change. Because the body, there's the body, and then there's the being, and there's the relationship between the body and the being, and how they work together to achieve their purpose. It could be called soul purpose. To achieve their soul purpose on the planet, they need to be working together. And so, when Stephen's over there, and I am here, I am in a body that Stephen discovered in 1996 liked me better than it liked him. And he asked me, why was that? Why is it that your body likes, my body likes you better than it likes me? And I said, because you treat it like a machine. You treat it like it's expendable. You run it too hard. You feed it too poorly. You take care of it too poorly. And without it, you can't function in this reality. So that set Stephen on quite a path of listening to his body and doing what his body said. There's been times when he's forgotten about that. He's been too busy or too stressed to take care of his body, but he's back again, getting back into proper relationship with his body so it can function as they can function as friends. And probably the best friend you want is your body. And your relationship affects both of you. So today we're looking at that, and we're feeling that. So we're back to the heart again. So again, notice the heart. If it's a pain that you're noticing, notice when that pain is gone. And you may think, I'm doing this. And it's true that I'm doing this in this body. But I'm using this body to calibrate the world. So when you watch this video, you're observing me, observing the world that you're in, and calibrating it through this physical vehicle that has all these calibration sites. One of the greater calibration sites is the heart, but also the throat, also the third eye, also the brain stem. These are all things that we've shown to Stephen, so he's aware of all these places. But like many, He feels like he needs to do this on his own. And even though he feels like he needs to do this on his own, he feels he needs to take everyone along with him to assist them through this process. But some of the things that he's not done, continue to do. He's not let go of his belief systems that make this more difficult. And it's time for this to be less difficult. It's time to stop resisting the process of your change for your own good and the good of the world. So, you probably saw the energies pop out a little bit. There you go. We are a group of beings of light. And I took a name so I could give one to Stephen. And the name is Arlen. And I'm still using that name because that's what Stephen is comfortable, and it might be what you're comfortable with. And there are others that are having other level beings communicate, and their beings have a variety of names, and the names probably relate to sound. What is the sound? Okay, so this is a healing. Stephen works with healing fields within the world healing field. So he works with the world healing field, he and many others. And then he works with individual fields when we ask him to set them up. So this individual world heal field within this collective world healing field, in many ways, is the same thing. I think he was starting to talk about his understanding that the deep self, the higher self, and the highest self were all one thing, but different levels of expression. You can feel the difference in the level of expression and in the location in which they exist from our perception. So we perceive, the deep self exists here. And when we connect with the deep self, we feel that connection to that core. And when we connect with the higher self, and yours may be different, but most of the time it's here. It was like, the higher self. The highest self. They're all different levels of energy. They're all connected. He understands that. Yet he's letting us in today because he's aware that we are actually more skilled at working with human bodies. We've all been in them. We've all lived in human bodies. We all know what it's like to live in human bodies. But for this process that the world's going through, we're choosing to work with others within human bodies. So some people refer to us as their guides and helpers. Sometimes we're referred as a soul ray group. But we're working if you're watching this video, um, you're part of this group. Now the group's very large, as far as the eye can see, as far as the mind can travel. This is one group. But this is a transition time. And so what we wish to show you and have you experience is how quickly things can change. Just like that. I mean, Stephen does that sometimes. And it works. And I'm going to do that as well. And we're going to do that as well. So we're just going to do this. We're just going to say, put your awareness on the center of your chest. And notice it change. We're going to do a number of these. So, put your awareness, and I may be back, just so you know, because I taught him most of this. So now put your attention on this area, just underneath the ear, and notice the squeezing feeling in there. So you can actually do this to just really feel it squeezed, and then notice if it releases. There's a tension here I talked about earlier. Notice that tension as the energy shifts it. Okay, so the lesson of this session is that things can change instantaneously if you allow it. The body's ready to change. The body wants this change. And it's just your perception of your consciousness that holds on to it. So when you feel this, and then you just go, I'm holding on to this, and then you go, I'm letting go of this. I'm holding on to this. I'm letting go of this. I'm holding on to this. I'm letting go of this. And you can just do that over and over and over again. When you feel some discomfort, I'm holding on to this. I'm letting go of this. And you can make it that simple. It needed to be slightly difficult because Stephen needs for it to be slightly difficult. He hasn't completely accepted that it doesn't need to be difficult at all. You could just go, oh, this to this. oh, this to this. Well, we got a message from Heritage Bank. Wonder what that is. From this to this. All that energy is available. All that energy is available to open up and move. And you don't even really need to be all that brave. You just need to be willing. And you can just watch this again if you want. And I have a feeling that I'll be back, and I appreciate Stephen for letting me use his body as I've always done. Okay, it's good to be with you. It's true. It's been a long time since I've actually had Arlen commute, since early 97, before the big event took place. So, yeah. It's good to be doing this together, and as always, namaskar.